There'll be no fuss here, we're diving straight into a book haul. I'm Kerry and this is Bookish Adventures in Wellbeing. I have a huge stack of books to show you that I've purchased this month and acquired in various different means. Now I want to caveat this by saying, first of all, I love book hauls. I love watching people's book hauls, but also please don't feel like you need to be drawn into the capitalist world of wanting to buy more and more books if you don't need to or if you don't want to. Anyway, let's get into the books that I have bought this month. The first is Why Women Grow by Alice Vincent. I went to a book event for this and heard Alice speak about it really eloquently, and I think it sounds fantastic. It's a non-fiction book where she essentially took a fairly journalistic approach. That's her background is in journalism, and it wanted to explore the relationship that various different women from different backgrounds have with their gardens and why they spend time there and why they choose to grow and garden. The next book that I have is Turnglass by Gareth Rubin. This is a tetbesh book, meaning you can read the first half the right way around and then you turn it over and you read the next half the other way around. It's a mystery. It's set in 2 timelines. I won this on Instagram, so thank you so much, Jill from Books in Wales, and I'm really excited to read this as part of a reading vlog that I have coming up. The next 2 books I have for you are Anxious People by Frederick Backman and Build Your House Around My Body by Violet Coopersmith. I bought both of these on Vinted. I have a rule where I keep a wish list essentially of books that I'm interested in, and occasionally I'll have a browse on Vinted, and if I find somebody selling more than one of the books that I've got on my wish list, then I give myself permission to buy them, because usually they're quite cheap to buy, and also it means that I've combined postage. So yeah, that's a silly little rule that I have. So I found these 2. Anxious People, Frederick Backman is a favourite author, and I'm hoping to do a reading vlog where I read another book from favourite authors, and this would definitely be one of them. The next book I have for you is Wildcard by Jen Cowney and Fiona Lensfeld. This duo form Litwitcher, and I went to their tarot workshop at the Bath Festival recently and had a wonderful time, and loved how it was just Fiona there, how Fiona spoke about the cards and how she uses tarot so much that I couldn't resist picking up their book. Next up are a set of books that I picked up whilst I was in Bath for the festival. I went to some charity shops and I went to the market where they have an amazing paperback stall. So do check out that vlog. It's Witchlit vlog, I think. I forget what it's called. I'll try and remember to link it. So I picked up a few second-hand books, which I'm excited about. These are all books that were on my wish list too. So the first is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This sounds like a devastating family saga set in Korea. Next up is Arrangements in Blue by Amy Key. This is her memoir, and she uses Joni Mitchell's album Blue as an anchor for her memoir writing. I saw Amy interview... Hold please. I saw Amy interview Rebecca May Johnson, who's the author of Small Fires, and loved her sense of humour. I understand that this is very sad, so I'll be interested to see how those 2 marry. She had quite a larger than life personality, and so yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how that comes across in her memoir. Next I've got Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. This is set in the height of summer, where a 17-year-old girl and her father stay at an encampment which they share with a professor and his archaeology students, and they are digging up a burial ground of ritual sacrifice. It sounds coming of age as she interacts with the students, but also sounds a bit family drama because she's pushing back against her father and his wishes for her. It's only short, but it sounds really good fun. Next up I picked I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. This is the first of 7 volumes of her autobiography. I love Maya Angelou's poetry and have been meaning to get to this for a long time, so really was delighted to have the opportunity to pick it up secondhand and in excellent condition. I also picked up Beyond Black by Hilary Mantel. This is about a medium, and she conveys messages from the dead to her clients, but she also has too much knowledge about the dark side and is plagued by ghosts at night, and so this sounds like a really great time. I've never read any Hilary Mantel, and this sounds like a perfect place for me to start. And the last book I picked up is Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano. This is about 4 sisters and they are torn apart by a love affair. I also bought Dog by Rob Perry. I picked this up in the Waterstones double points event weekend. This is about a young man who's essentially afraid of virtually everything and not doing a very good job of looking after himself or existing, and when he's out and about one day, a dog follows him home and suddenly he has to figure out how to look after himself and therefore the dog. It sounds perfect for me. Running on a theme, I also picked up in the same Waterstones event Dog Songs by Mary Oliver. This is a section of her poetry, a selection of her poetry dedicated to dogs. I also have picked up recently Everyone Knows Your Mother is a Witch. The next few books, including this one, I bought from the Last Bookshop in Bristol. They sell books which have been overordered by or overproduced by publishers, and so they're slightly reduced. This one was £5, some of them are 4, some of them are 3. So this is Everyone Knows Your Mother is a Witch by Rivka Gelchen. This is about a couple, a woman who is a herbalist and her husband has something to do with astrology, and they're a really popular couple. They offer lots of help to their community until one day someone accuses the main character of being a witch because she got ill after a drink that she was given. So sounds like great witch lit. I should also have said this book has really pretty, ooh, focus. You can see it's got little stars at the top of every page. How cute is that? The next book I have is Violets by Alex Hyde. I've seen lots of people reviewing this, particularly the Savages. Simon and Louise Savage have both read this and raved about it. So it's focused on 2 women in the Second World War. One who's lying in a hospital bed and she's just lost her baby and won't be able to have any other children, and another who is pregnant in the Welsh Valleys, and somehow their lives converge, and that's the basis of our story. It sounds really wonderful. I also picked up from the Last Bookshop The Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. I've had my eye on this series for a long time. I think it sounds like a really good time. It's kind of a London detective series, but with a twist. London as you've never seen it before. A city of wonders and terrors, a city of ancient secrets which is haunted by its past, a city where you are never far from magic, a city Peter Grant will help you discover. It says, my name is Peter Grant and I used to be a probationary constable in that mighty army for justice known as all right thinking people as the Metropolitan Police Service, and to everyone else as the filth. My story really started when I tried to take a witness statement from a man who was already dead. So it sounds like a really good time. I also popped into the Oxfam bookshop on Park Street in Bristol and found this delight. This is The Purple Swamp Hen and Other Stories by Penelope Lively. I read Moon Tiger by Penelope Lively early this year and adored that book. So I will essentially be hoovering up anything else I can get my mitts on by Penelope Lively. And last, but not least, I have Ella Minnow P by Mark Dunn. This is a really unusual sounding book. It centres a town where I think there's a sign that's predominant, and one day one of the letters drops off the sign, and so everybody decides that they will no longer use that letter in any of their words, and eventually more and more letters drop off, and so more and more letters get removed from the alphabet. So that sounds like really good fun. So that is my book haul. It's a lot. It's a lot. When will I read them? That is an excellent question. I do have plans for some, but not all. But essentially all except, what else? I think this was the only one that wasn't literally on my wish list, and I know that I love this author, so that's okay, right? That's okay. Tell me it's okay in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. See you again soon. Take care.